This witness is not a passive observer of the events he describes. By his own written account, he is an active and willing participant in them. According to this written testimony, if I may read, Madam Chair, the witness claims he was personally consulted by the former President, Duterte, and offered strategic advice. He personally recommended the creation of a dedicated security unit for the Vice President and identified its headquarters. He claims he was given specific assignments to recruit civil groups, school clubs, fraternities, underworld criminal gangs, and syndicates as part of an alleged plan to destabilize the government. He describes having knowledge of and apparent proximity to discussions about assassinations, coups, and the assault of the presidential palace. Madam Chair, if we take this testimony, at face value, then the man sitting before this committee is not merely a witness. He is, by his own admission, a co-conspirator in a criminal enterprise of the highest order. He is a man who claims to have knowingly participated in plots that, if true, would constitute rebellion, sedition, and conspiracy to commit murder among the gravest crimes under Philippine law. This raises a question that this committee cannot in good conscience ignore. Why is this self-confessed co-conspirator being presented here as a credible witness rather than being investigated and prosecuted for the crimes he himself admits to participating in? And more importantly, has this witness been offered any form of immunity, protection, or accommodation in exchange for this testimony? If so, this committee and the Filipino people have an absolute right to know.
Ramil Madriaga stated earlier that his giving testimony to this committee is not in consideration of any offer coming from anyone.
I make a manifestation, Madam Chair.
The Honorable Chua.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, we are not accepting everything that Ramil Madriaga stated a while ago as gospel truth. We are here to make clarificatory question with respect to the affidavit that he executed. Now, that is for purposes of determination of probable cause. Now, the time will come, that is, pag papunta po tayo sa Senado, pag nagtuloy-tuloy na po sa trial, that is the time where we will test the credibility of the statement of the witness, which is Ramil Madriaga. There, during the hearing, pwede po siyang i-cross-examine ng mga abogado. At hindi po tayo ang magsasabi dito kung yung salita po niya ay totoo o hindi. Ang magsasabi po niyan ay yung mga senator judges na tatayong hukom sa Senado. Kaya ang trabaho lamang dito natin ay tingnan lang kung may probable cause. Kasi kung ang itetest na po natin yung credibility, that is already trial, Madam Chair. Kaya nga po kanina, lahat po ng mga miyembro, kung mapapansin po ninyo, halos nakatikim po ng objection sa ating Madam Chair dahil yung mga tanong po nila ay wala na sa affidavit at yun po ang tinatawag na probing question na. Kaya, Madam Chair, hindi po totoo na lahat po yun ay tinatanggap na po natin. Hindi po porke pinagbigyan natin si Ramil Madriaga na magsalita, ibig sabihin po yun na ang katotohanan. Malalaman po natin ang katotohanan pagdating po sa Senado. Maraming salamat po.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Honorable De Lima, and then we go back to Honorable Marcoleta.
Gusto ko lang pong dagdagan yung sinabi ni Representative Chua. Ang parang pinakapunto po ni Representative Marcoleta is that kapag co-conspirator ka o kaya insider ka, may mga alam ka dahil kasama ka sa mga gumawa ng kung mga ano-ano, ay hindi ka nakapanipaniwala. May I again cite a jurisprudential rule, Napoles versus Sandigan Bayan, GR number 224162, November 7, 2017. The Supreme Court ruled that the mere fact that the whistleblowers were conspirators themselves does not automatically render their testimonies incredible and unreliable. Kasi alam niyo po yung mga insiders, sila yung may mga alam. We can recall also, we can point out also the cases of in the case against the former president before the ICC, sila Edgar Matubato, sila Arthur Las Cañas, these are co-conspirators, these are insiders, but their testimonies are considered by the prosecutors, and that's why they are the star witnesses, among the star witnesses in that case. So hindi po yan tamang argument na kapag na alam mo, meron kang alam, kasi we can see from the testimony, the totality of the testimony, the supplemental affidavit of Mr. Madriaga, that he's an insider, well-entrenched, maraming alam. And in fact, yung pagiging insider, that bolsters one's credibility more often than not. Bolsters one's credibility. But sabi nga ni Representative Chua, hindi naman ibig sabihin ay paniniwalaan na natin lahat ng sinasabi ni Mr. Madiaga. Kasi ang sinasabi nga po dito, against Napoles versus Sandigan Bayan, if it is shown that the statements of the conspirator are corroborated by other evidence, then we have convincing proof of veracity. Even if the confirmatory testimony only applies to some particulars, we can properly infer that the witness has told the truth in other respects. Nakita naman natin yung kanyang willingness na pabuksan yung kanyang bank accounts, yung mga dummy bank accounts. Kaya nga siya nag-issue ng waiver. So ibig sabihin, willing siya na mag-present ng corroborative evidence. Ganon din yung tinanong ko po kanina tungkol dun sa apat na mga individuals. Although yung isa po, sabi niya ay namayapa na po. So yung tatlo, pwede rin po mag-corroborate. But not in this particular stage. Pwede sa trial kung kailangan ng corroborative evidence. Thank you.
Honorable Marcoleta?
Opo, if I may continue, Madam Chair.
Yes, I hope you are listening also to their manifestations.
Yes, ma'am.
because
I
they
highly
are-
respect the opinion of
They
Congressman
are
De
in
Lima.
response to your statement that he is a conspirator in the alleged acts committed by the former president. This is actually tantamount to a declaration against interest. You may continue.
Number 3, the extraordinary nature of the claims demands an extraordinary standard of proof. Madam Chair, there is a principle recognized in law, in logic, and in common sense. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. The allegations in this written testimony are not ordinary. They include a sitting president being orchestrated as a puppet to be discarded on a predetermined schedule. Presidential assassination by a coordinated military coup involving active and retired AFP and PNP officers. The planned siege and assault of Malacanang Palace by hard militants.